5, and we are live, and that's no jive. You know what to do. Break on through. Welcome, everybody, to another exciting edition of the now going into its 3rd year of live broadcast. Pandemic inspired. Break on through. How you like that? You have to talk to KD after dark about getting one of these. You got to be a correspondent. Of course, this cup is not available in Ohio, but contact KD if you want to be a correspondent for KD after dark. All right, man, I got a lot to talk about today. First of all, I still got a couple of those New Orleans Flyer shirts left. I think I got one medium, one extra large, and a couple 2Xs. So if you want one of those, hop on it. I'm down to the last couple of the Uncle Goddamn Part 2 videos, DVDs, I should say. I call everything a video. Boy, you're all coming on in today. That's good. That's good. Sorry I didn't get no personal greetings in. But y'all are here from as far as Raleigh, North Carolina, to Exeter, California, and all points in between. And a special welcome to our overseas audience. Well, March is almost done. That means April is on the way. Which means you will get 4 more chances to see the world's greatest rock and roll band. I'm talking about ANTiSEEN. On April 6th, that's a Thursday night, you can see us in Hotlanta, Georgia, at Boggs Social and Supply. We will have a big card that night. Josephus, George Jonestown Massacre will be with us. Hembray and the Infidels, the Aggravators. It's going to be a good card. That's a showstopper. I don't care what day of the week it is or where it is. That's one you're not going to want to miss, because it is going to rock the party. And I'm not wrong about these things. The next night, April 7th, hometown show, the old Homestead, the Milestone Club. 2nd place ANTiSEEN ever played. 1st place I ever started going to live punk rock shows at. We'll be there with Hembray and the Infidels and Self-Made Monsters, a local favorite. And again, it's a knockdown, drag out, rock and roll party in the street. You're going to want to be there. The doors are at 7. First band goes on at 8. We're talking a lineup of 8, 9, 10. Thing over with by 11, 11:30. We ain't going to keep you out all night. I can't stay up all night. That's basically why. No, if you miss those 2 cultural events, you will get another chance on Saturday, April 8th, at the Cherry Street Tavern in Chattanooga, Tennessee. On that card, it will be us and the Josephus and George Jonestown Massacre. The people from Chattanooga are telling me, "Damn, Jeff Clayton, we got you a damn buzz going on here because we can't believe this place is letting y'all play." So, you know, that always equates to a fun time. And if you've done a 1, 2, 3 strikeout, and you're just like, "Damn, I ain't seen no ANTiSEEN this week. They're playing for you." Well, you got one last chance. April 9th, Easter Sunday, we will be at the Cobra in Nashville, Tennessee. That's an early show, too. I think show starts at 7 or 8 there, too. We don't do the all-nighters no more. But I hope to see a bunch of y'all out there, and we're really looking forward to it. Looking forward to taking the Ultra lineup out again. Man, it's a great thing playing with these guys. You talk about new life. Well, this band's got it. How can you have new life after 40 years, son? Well, you just come see us and you'll see. Not much else going on in the advertisement world. Long-Haired Weirdo release number 2. I still have copies. Streets Living Theater live at the Milestone Club, 1984. That's on CD. I got 2 more CDs coming out here soon. Long-Haired Weirdo release 003 will be Callie Hellstrom. He gave me a damn good description of it last week. And I was going to write it down. Yeah, I know every one of y'all like, "You say you're going to do this, you say you're going to do that, but you never do nothing. Damn, you got to tell us something." Well, I'm telling you, if I would actually do some of this, I'd have it all. I found a notebook the other day. I was like, "Oh, man, this will be a good notebook to write down everything in." And I put it down, and who knows where the hell it is now. But we're actually getting Long-Haired Weirdo 3 and 4 ready simultaneously. Callie Hellstrom will be number 3. Streets Living Theater Studio LP will be number 4. I'm really anxious for you guys to hear this one. So, anyway, that's enough advertising for now. I said last week I was going to talk about Curtis Mayfield. So, but I didn't. I said I would do it this week, and so that's what I'm going to be talking about. All right, Callie, I see what you wrote. Avant-garde experimental spoken word. Okay, I got that. Avant-garde experimental spoken word. Yeah, I know y'all like, damn, we tune in here on Tuesday to watch you take notes. Okay, I'm done with notes. I'm reading my notes now that I made later in the week. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but Coleman is, my little grandson, Coleman, he is going quite berserk in the other room. Probably because he knows I'm in here. How do y'all like the new setup? What about that? Yeah, I did some new stuff this weekend, man. Before I get started, I'm going to take y'all over there and let you look at it. Look at this good shite. Man, I'm telling you, it don't get no better than that, son. That's good old-fashioned, all-American, made-in-China pegboard right there. Yeah. Okay. All right, so I said I'm going to talk about Curtis Mayfield, so I am. Curtis Mayfield is one of my favorite vocalists of all time. Now, this list I've compiled, I think I may have made mention last week that there's no way I could do a 10-song top 10 of Curtis Mayfield. That's right, Mike Thrower, the lady, she's here. Jesse Ventura's up on top over there. See it? Clean the old ear there. Anyway, now, Curtis had a very lucrative career with his singing group, The Impressions. But I'm not going to do The Impressions in this. This is going to be Curtis Mayfield as a solo artist. Because The Impressions, to me, now you're going to say, damn, you must not like The Impressions. No, I love The Impressions. And I'm going to tell you, The Impressions were instrumental in influencing a hell of a lot more than they get credit for, man. A lot of the bands in Jamaica that became superstars. The Wailers, Bunny Wailer, Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, they were inspired by The Impressions. They were a vocal group first, 3 guys singing with backup. And they were really into The Impressions. The Impressions made a big impression down there in Jamaica town. But what I'm going to concentrate on is when Curtis went off on his own, apart from the Impressions. And I guess this would have been like around 71. And it really, I tried to put these in order as far as the albums, but and when you talk about Curtis Mayfield, you have to split it up into 2 things. You have to do the regular releases and the soundtracks. I'll explain that in a second. But this is this list will be culminated from the album. It's called Curtis from 70. I guess so. It was 70 when this all happened. Roots from 71. Superfly soundtrack from 72. Back to the World from 73. Sweet Exorcist from 74. No Place Like America Today from 75. And Short Eyes soundtrack from 1977. Now you say, you're like, well, damn, why you got to say something about soundtrack? Because in my personal opinion, now look, I'm not one of these guys that goes on saying, oh, well, what I say is the way it is. What I say to you is this is my opinion only. If you value it in to any amount, then hopefully you take my advice and you form your own opinions, your own top 10, your own top 20. Or you may listen to it and go, damn, this ain't for me. But the reason you bring up the soundtracks is because, in my opinion, Curtis Mayfield really soared when he had the project of a soundtrack. And one of the best examples of that is the soundtrack from 1972's Superfly. Because if you ask anybody if they know one Curtis Mayfield song, it'll be one of these 3. When you talk about Curtis Mayfield solo artists, it'll be Superfly theme, Pusher Man, or Freddie's Dead. Freddie's Dead was huge on the radio back then. I remember. It was all over. You could hear it, on the AM stations, everything, and he was on the Grammys that year, I believe, and played it live on there. And but Short Eyes is another example of an album that is just phenomenal, but it doesn't get included in like his discography because it was a soundtrack. And to me, I think that's kind of ridiculous, because Curtis Mayfield wrote every song on it, with the exception of, well, let me get to that in a minute. Every song on it, he performed it, all of it, and a couple of the tunes end up on just about every Curtis Mayfield best of. But it's still a soundtrack album that's really kind of difficult to find, and you just don't hear too many people talk about it. But the soundtrack is phenomenal. The movie is just as phenomenal. Like I said, it's made in '77, and it's very, very powerful thing, and I think it holds up well after all this time. So I'm thinking Short Eyes is on Tubi, or maybe Prime. Tubi is streaming. Tubi. Short Eyes is streaming somewhere, so you can watch it tonight or this weekend. And I suggest you do. Don't watch it with little ones around. It's pretty heavy. But I'm going to talk about the soundtracks for a second. We mentioned Superfly. Well, he writes a soundtrack for this movie, but I think maybe the soundtrack came first because they didn't know that Superfly, the cocaine pusher, and Superfly, he was the hero of the story. But almost every song on the soundtrack album is talking about how terrible drugs are. And I'm going to go ahead and start with my. You know what? I can't even do them in order of 1 to 20 or 20 to 1. I'm just going to give you my favorites from each of these albums. And we're going to start with Superfly. The Superfly soundtrack from 1972. These are my 3 top favorite songs on the whole album. But I'm telling you, every single song on it is fantastic. And I'm going to go with Freddy's Dead, because, you know, he has one of the most popular Curtis Mayfield songs, but it is as powerful as any movie you're ever likely to see. And my next one is Eddie, You Should Know Better. Another big, very good anti-drug song. My next favorite is No Thing on Me, the Cocaine song. No, like I said, another anti-drug. Every song on it is anti-drug. But the hero of the movie is a drug pusher. So, go figure. There's some great instrumental pieces on there. Now, if you get the original soundtrack, it's pretty cut and dry with the songs. But if you get one of those extended soundtracks, it's got more instrumentals on there. There's one called Militant March, which is really good. It's very short, but it's really good. If you're a Curtis Mayfield fan, you may getting into it, listening to me talk about it. I don't know, you might not want to get one of those expanded CDs. I'm going to go to the next soundtrack that I mentioned, Short Eyes. Short Eyes is a slang prison term for child molester. And like I said, it's a heavy themes, a heavy movie. Don't watch it if you're in one of those happy-go-lucky, feel-good moods, because you will not be afterwards. But the soundtrack is amazing. Some of my favorites from it is Doo-Doo Wop is Strong in Here. Number 2, a nice ballad, Back Against the Wall. You know, and every one of these songs are pretty much prison themed, with the exception of my 4th one. But Need Someone to Love is another, you know, missing someone on the outside. Another one I like, another Fool in Love, a great, great tune. But one of the more powerful numbers on the whole record is one called Break It Down. Now, on the soundtrack album, Curtis sings the song. But in the movie, when all the inmates are in a day room, you know, and they all get in their sections. You got the Hispanic guys over here, got the black guys in the middle, you got the white guys over here on the edge. They play Back Against the Wall a cappella, with them beating on coffee cans and stuff like that, with Freddie Fender singing the lead vocal. Man, I got goosebumps just thinking about it. I'm telling you, that song is incredible. I wish that had been included on the soundtrack, but I don't foresee Short Eyes getting any of those expanded editions where they, you know, will include that, because it is amazing. Yeah. I use the terms amazing, wonderful, and all that stuff. And man, I'm telling you, when it comes to this stuff right here, I just can't think of anything to say, because this stuff, to me, is it's top of the heap. And I've liked this stuff most of my adult life. I was listening to some of this when I was a kid. I didn't know who it was. I mean, I did when it'd show up on the Grammys or something like that, but, you know, it started to mean a lot more to me as I got older. But other soundtracks that Curtis did was Let's Do It Again, which had Bill Cosby, Sidney Poitier, and Jimmy J.J. Walker in it. And even though Curtis performed and wrote all the music in it, it was all sung by the Staple Singers. And it's really good. It's really amazing, even without Curtis's vocals. That's called Let's Do It Again soundtrack. All right, we're going to go off the sound. But, okay, there's one more soundtrack that he did. Claudine, which he did with Gladys Knight. But I'm going to go back to my favorite Curtis Mayfield songs. I'm just going to start from the earliest and go it, since I've already messed it up with all the soundtrack stuff. From the 1970 self-named record, Curtis. My favorite song on that, and we covered it. And, you know, I'm not one to go around and, you know, all the time, but I think we did a pretty damn good job of it. I'm really proud of it. But it's called If There's a Hell Below, We're All Gonna Go. No favoritism there, man. Right at the beginning of the song, he lets out every racial slur you can possibly think of. And of course, when we did it live, of course, there was always issues. I saw a question about something, and I know the answer to it. Let's see. Was there a live one? Yes. There was a live one called Curtis Live in Chicago, and it didn't have the impressions on it. And you know, it got to where I am such a big fan. I can listen to songs by other artists and tell if Curtis wrote it. I can do the same thing for Clarence Reed. I can go, Clarence Reed had something to do with that. And, you know, you look at the credits, sure enough, C. Reed, and, you know, and the same with C. Mayfield. But Major Lance used to do a bunch of Curtis Mayfield songs. But, so, from that self-titled Curtis, my favorite is Hell Below, We're All Gonna Go. But, man, there are so much other good stuff. The Makings of You. We People Who Are Darker Than Blue. Amazing stuff. The second studio, there was a record in between Curtis and Roots, and that was called Curtis Live. And on that record, I mean, it's a lot of good stuff on there, and he did stuff that that wasn't on the first record yet. But he also did a version of We've Only Just Begun, which is incredible. And if you're wondering, what the hell is the song you talk about? Man, you got to tell us, you know, the Carpenters did it. We've only just begun to live. Great. Great! All right. Back to the second studio album of Curtis going solo, called Roots. Came with a zodiac calendar. Not a bad song on it. My favorites on there are Keep On Keeping On. Now you talk about some positive. So this song's got some positive stuff. This record's got some real positive messages on it. And keep on keeping on, man. If that can't lift you up, nothing can. And Just Love to Keep You in My Mind. Two of my favorites off that, but it has lots of other incredible tracks. With Underground. Great record. Which leads us to the one that came after. Oh no. This came a couple years later in '73 called Back to the World. Now this one, and man, all these records, when I talk about it, it's really hard for me to pick favorites off of them, but I'm kind of, I kind of judge it on, okay, Jeff Clayton, there's a gun to your head, and you got to make a damn Curtis Mayfield compilation, and it's got to be 20 songs. And I'm just like, oh shit, okay. But this is how I'm picking. But I love these records from start to finish, from cover to cover. But the one from '73 is called Back to the World. And man, I've been really inspired by the art on there too. A lot of like, it looks like Xerox copies of pictures printed in different colors and, you know, put together, and it makes a really great cover. And the two of the standout tracks for me on that are the title track, Back to the World, and a number called Keep On Trippin'. Curtis also included a lot of his feelings and everything on his faith in these songs. There's a bunch of this on Back to the World. And a lot through all of his records. And I really admired his the way he's able to put that into words and put that into song. And after saying that, I'm going to tell you the title of this next one. You go, what are you talking about, Jeff Clayton? You got to tell us something. With it numbers in 1974, the album called Sweet Exorcist. And man, there is a song on that. Two songs on that just knock me out, man. One's called Kung Fu. Like, you're like, damn, Jeff Clayton, of course, if it's called Kung Fu and it's made in 1970, you're going to like it, you fool. What do you think? We don't listen to Break On Through? But I'm telling you, that it's about a kid named Kung Fu. It's a wild story. You think a boy named Sue's wild? Listen to Kung Fu. Listen to the lyrics of Kung Fu, and they come back and tell me, damn, Jeff Clayton, that was wild. Well, you wasn't kidding about that, son. But the other one is the title track off that record called Sweet Exorcist. And I really love the way Curtis was able to deal with so many different types of subject matter. Now, in the Impressions, you know, for the first part of the Impressions, you know, like being in the 60s and stuff, it was all a bunch of, you know, a love song, boy and girl stuff, which nothing wrong with that. I love that. I love the impressions. But toward the end of the impressions time, they started getting a little bit more socially conscious. And by the time, and that may be something that had to do with Curtis going his own way, because I think he really wanted to go into that. But he never came off, to me, as being prejudiced against another race. But I don't know, maybe I ain't listening right. But I listen to these damn records pretty damn good from cover to cover, like I told you. It's just a time when this is all I would listen to. Let me see what somebody just wrote here. I guess y'all see I'm getting a little better with maneuvering this damn phone as soon as I say that. Okay, it's talking about my pal Tom Bowker. Met the non-Curtis impressions 7 years ago at a breakfast show. Somehow they thought it was a good idea to have a cover band play impressions songs before the impressions played impressions songs. Yeah, Tom, you know what? That sounds like some of the stuff those old timers would pull. Why? I don't know. But, man, one day I'll talk about the impressions. That group, whether it was the original 3 or the later day expanded 4 without Curtis, man, they're all great. You don't believe me? Step outside and see me. All right, now I'm going to go to, all right, number 6. This record was from 1975, and I've got to say that hands down, if you said to me, Dan Jeff Clayton, you can only pick one Curtis Mayfield record, and it can't be the Superfly soundtrack. Well, you know what would quickly roll off the tip of my tongue? I would say No Place Like America Today. Now, you talk about a record that's relevant. It's relevant in 1975. It is relevant in 2023. But there is there's 4 songs on there that just are my favorite. I mean, they would be in my top 6, I have to say. One, named after a movie I'm sure that all y'all on here have seen or love, Billy Jack. It's not about that same Billy Jack, but if they were to base a movie on this song, I think it would be fantastic. So, one of my favorite tracks off No Place Like America Today, Billy Jack, along with another Curtis. Man, I love Curtis ballads, man. He could, like I said, he was, in my opinion, he was a master at putting his emotions down into words. Something that, I don't know, you probably think, well, damn, a lot of people can do that. Well, you know what, though? But not many people can do it to where it speaks to me. This stuff speaks to me, and that's why I'm telling you about it, because when I champion this stuff, it's not because I think I know more than you. It's just that, man, I love this, and I want to share it with you here on my Break On Through. And I want y'all to break on through and, discover something new that maybe you haven't listened to before. No, Clinton Zilla, that Billy Jack has nothing to do with the movie Billy Jack or the soundtrack. It's just called Billy Jack. Funny, it would be around 75 as well. But the other couple I like off of this one is So in Love, another Curtis ballad. Beautiful, beautiful song. Another one, but the lyrics just really, really moved me, even when I was in a different frame of mind than I am today. He got one called Jesus that I really love. But when you listen to all the, first you got to hear Billy Jack because it's the first song on the record. And you're like, damn, Curtis is getting gritty on this one. And you're like, oh man, he's mellowing out. But man, on the next side of the record, it's back to that gritty, you know. Yeah, I got a sweet voice. I got some sweet music and stuff, but I'm going to give you some hard words. I'm talking about the song called Hard Times. It's as good as the Kiss Hard Times. It may be better than the Kiss Hard Times. Well, man, damn, I think that covers that group of records. Now, Curtis went on to make other stuff later, but I mean, I'll just tell you, you know, how it seems to go with me. I seem to concentrate on a certain time period, and then when it gets out of that time period, you know, the things I love about it, it doesn't interest me as much anymore. I bet if I went back and listened to some of those records now, I'd feel different about it. But, you know, when the production changes, the production values, when it went from being more funk and blues into more disco, that kind of turned me off at the time. Like I say, I'd probably listen to them now and think, oh my God, what was I thinking not listening to this stuff? But this stuff all here is all what classic Curtis Mayfield is known for. You know, the wah-wah guitar, the real I don't know how to describe the tempos, man, are just so, it's like laid back. Even the stuff dealing with the hard subjects, man, it's like, it's not all lovey-dovey stuff. Man, very little of that in this list, but hell, I hope I made some of you want to give some of these a listen. I'm going to run down that list of albums one more time. It's Curtis Live, Roots, the Superfly soundtrack, Back to the World, Sweet Exorcist, Short Eyes soundtrack, and one of my personal favorites, There's No Place Like America Today. Well, damn. Hell, I talked a good streak there. I hope y'all had a good time listening. I sure had a good time talking about it. Can't just go around talking about this stuff to just anybody. My main Mang from down around San Antonio, Texas way. He's also the lead singer of Rancid Vat. Man, he sent me some good shite in the mail the other day now. I'm gonna hip y'all to what it is right now. And thank you, Beer Reeves. Thank you so much for this wonderful gift, man. I got great friends, always sending me stuff, and this is no exception. Ultraman Pops. Look at that. Y'all know who that is. I don't care. There's Ultraman Jack right here. Yeah, look at those big bug eyes I gave him. And man, he gave me some more too. Like there's another monster. There's Father of Ultra, you know, with the big horns, and Ultraman Ace. Hell, I think I got them all except for Ultraman himself. But you know what? Thank you again, Beer. It's incredible shit. My brother is going to shit when he sees this. Maybe he won't see it, and I get him this for his birthday or something. But let's see, what else is going on around this town? Well, tune in tomorrow for some Tent Talks Tunes on Malcolm Tent's Facebook page at 7 p.m. Yeah, Nathan Trusty. I didn't know they were even out. Beer writes, hey, man, I got you the Ultraman Pops. I'm like, man, how much I owe you for that? And he's like, man, don't worry about it. And all of a sudden, I got 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 5 of 6 Ultraman Pops. I didn't even know they had made them. And I know you like this kind of stuff, too. So, there, you learned something. We'll break on through. Well, hell. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. I'm not going to lie to you, man. It's been really kind of hard to talk about fun, happy stuff with what all's going on in the country over the last day or so. Especially having to look at all the fantastic arguments on Facebook. Man, I'm really getting to where I despise social media. But we have to have it to push our thing. You know, we got to have it to do, you know, to get the word out about what we got going on as a band and all. But man, I think no matter what side of the gun control issue you are on, I think we all agree. I think everybody agrees, man, that going in and shooting little innocent kids is just fucked up. And I'm not even going to go into the rest of the damn issues on this that people seem to be wanting to wave their flags about. Clinton tells me Twitter's much. Man, I jumped off Twitter 4 years ago. I couldn't seem to get it to work for me. I didn't understand it. I didn't care about any of it. So, fuck Twitter. And, so, I don't know. I didn't mean to get all melancholy on you right here at the end. It's just saying it was a little bit of a stretch to be too joyous. But as Curtis says, we just keep on keeping on. That's what we got to do. But it was great to have you here. You guys have a great week. Have an even better weekend. And we'll see you next week. Right here. On break. On through.